on this wonderful day. Good afternoon, once again. I am Susan Schultz-Huxman, and on behalf of the Conrad Grebel University College faculty, staff, students, and board, I want to say how pleased we are that you could join us on this significant, groundbreaking occasion in the life of our college. We have Grebel stakeholders assembled here from near and far. One of our youngest alums and supporters is here all the way from California, so welcome, Morgan. And one of our older supporters is here from Tavistock, Lorraine Roth, for whom a reading room in our new archives will be named. From the beginning, this campaign for academic expansion was called the Next Chapter Campaign and built upon the familiar hymn of promise, "In the bulb there is a flower. From the past will come our future." Indeed, we are trading on the firm foundation of our past to secure a glorious future. Today, we celebrate the 5th building project in the history of Conrad Grebel. That's about one a decade. Pretty impressive. This building project is principally academic in nature. It supports the library and archives, a new center for peace advancement, classroom and rehearsal space for music, community education rooms, and a new welcoming entrance. Today, we remember. We remember that nearly 50 years ago, the courage, the fortitude, and the vision of the founders of Conrad Grebel College. Church men and women who took a gamble, an imaginative leap of faith on a unique educational model. A Mennonite-inspired Christian liberal arts college that would partner across the creek with a secular research university, the University of Waterloo. We are surely standing on the shoulders of visionary giants today as we reaffirm that model of education. Today, we also want to recognize 2 founding board members who are with us today. 2 men who were here in 1963 to bear witness to this bold, faithful founding of Conrad Grebel. Ron Snyder and John W. Snyder. Can you raise your hand? I'm sorry. Roy Snyder and John W. Snyder. Since they are both named Snyder, though they tell me they spell their names differently, I figure that there must be some real longevity in the Snyder name. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us today. I also understand that we have one of our first female board members here today, Florence Schlegel. Is she here? Florence? Florence was here for the college's 2nd groundbreaking in 1975. At this time, I want to give a special word of appreciation to our cornerstone contributors. These are individuals, foundations, organizations who stepped up in a big way to speed us here today. I call these the 4 pillar gifts, without which we would not be here today breaking ground just 1 year after launching the fundraising portion of this campaign. The Mennonite Savings and Credit Union. Brent Zordreger, CEO, is here today on behalf of MSCU. I think some others are as well. The MSCU gifted us the Mennonite Savings and Credit Union Center for Peace Advancement, an entire 4th floor, 6,000 square feet devoted to this enterprise. The Good Foundation. Jim Good is here on behalf of the Good Foundation. And the Good Foundation gifted us for the Milton Good Library expansion a generous contribution. We are, as you know, doubling the size of the Milton Good Library and tripling the size of our archives. So to the Good Foundation, thank you. The Wallenstein Feed Charitable Foundation. And Rick Martin is here on behalf of Wallenstein Feed today. And again, this particular organization has been wonderful for a generous donation for the Milton Good Library. Thank you, Rick and Wallenstein Feed. And RBJ Schlegel Incorporated. Jamie Schlegel is here on behalf of his brothers and his parents, Ron and Barb Schlegel. The RBJ Schlegel Incorporated organization has gifted us the Ron and Barb Schlegel Community Education Room. This is a large multi-purpose room located right here on the prime real estate on this floor, looking out toward Westmount. Thank you, RBJ Schlegel. These cornerstone gifts generate confidence and enthusiasm and stimulate a kind of cascade giving impulse in so many others gathered here today. I want to thank these four for their generous investment in us and spurring that additional giving action. Today, mostly we thank all of you, our loyal supporters. If you have a program, you know that is 462 people and counting. These many other generous contributors constitute a great cloud of witnesses who have made this day possible. And earlier this week, Student Council voted to extend their student building fund each term to the next chapter campaign. So over the next 5 years, that will really make a difference too. Yes. We have others today that want to make some short remarks, giving us a greater scope and context for what has transpired. Susan Taves will be speaking on behalf of the Board of Governors as its chair, Lori Carter, our architect, and Laura Stemp-Morlock, a graduate student. I would simply like to say, in closing my remarks, thank you again for delivering this new chapter in the history of Conrad Grebel University College and giving us this facility enhancement in order to help people, faculty, staff, and students better realize our mission to seek wisdom, to nurture faith, to pursue peace and justice in service to church and society. We have been richly blessed. And for that, in this Lenten season, we are especially grateful for God's promises and provisions to us as presented through the gift of our resurrected Lord. May we be instruments of our Master Teacher, the Prince of Peace, today and always. Thank you.
Good afternoon. How is everyone? How can you not be good on a day like today? So I'm Susan Taves. I've been chair of the board for just about not a year quite. And as I stood out there with that shovel, I didn't say anything because all I can think about is on behalf of the current board, but I go all the way back to actually it's 1961 when our charter was established for the college. And I think of the board members, but the leadership in the whole community. I think of the students' lives who've been affected. I think of parents who came here. I think of the faculty who have influenced the thousands of minds. I think of our strong alliance across the creek with the university, which is a world-class educational facility. And I turn that shovel with that dirt, and I am almost overwhelmed by what got us here. And it's not today, it's not 2006 when the strat plan was struck. This is a journey, and we hold it for a brief moment. And I hope that we can enjoy it, but pass it forward with so much of the richness it's brought to my life and other people that I know here. So that was what was on my mind, and I knew I could figure out how to say that back then. So, with respect to right now, though, I do have to really recognize the current board and the past board. 2006 was a strategic plan. I was looking at it earlier today. And it talks about our faculty and the academic programs we wanted to grow into. It was excited about our archives and our Mennonite history. There was clearly a vision for a building expansion, and it is so exciting to hold the vision of that strategic plan that was put together by over 50 stakeholders and actually see it coming together in the timetable that it was reflected on. So I thank that past board, but boards past, and again the rest of the group who are part of all the planning for this. With respect to the project, I guess as chair I do some business things, so I really encourage you to look at your program. And if you look at the back of it, there's some numbers highlighted there. This is an exciting time. We have done a lot of work looking at the costs and the pieces of the building that are going to be here for you in a couple of years. Please take the time to recognize where the money's coming from, but also how we're trying to spend it, and we hope that you'll hold us in your prayers as we move through the project and make the right decisions for building the right thing. But this has been a subject of the board discussions since the summer of 2010 for sure, and finalized just most recently. So it's exciting to see those numbers. I'm an accountant also, so you know I just like numbers. So I encourage you to look at that. As Susan has mentioned, there are a lot of donors listed in here. Can't do it without you. But I know you're here, so you're committed to this project. So please bring your friends and get them to bring their checkbook too. It says we have lots to offer for this university and the students that are going to come through it. So I encourage you to do that as well. And my final comment, I would encourage you to speak to anyone who looks like their board or on committees. We have Lynn Yancey and Claire, they were throwing some dirt around with me as well. Paul is here. We have a fundraising committee group as well, who people are on that. There has been a huge amount of work, and I can't say thank you enough. As board chair, I get to stand up here and enjoy the presentation, but it wouldn't happen without the huge effort of all the people who worked on the committees to get us here today. So I think those are the highlights of what I was supposed to say, unless I missed anything in particular. And I know you really, really just want to hear from Laurie, because he's going to tell us about the building. And I don't know if you guys are going to be up there in a couple of years with these changes. So I'd like to invite Laurie to tell us about the building.
Thank you, Susan. I'd also, before I start, like to recognize my partner, Brian Chance, who is with us here as well, and also a representative of Myth Valley Construction, who will be the contractor for the project. Bob Zare is in the back there. There's been a large team that's been involved in working on this project. This new addition will become the new face for Conrad Grebel at University College. It will stand as tall as the top of the mechanical penthouse, a little bit taller than the atrium. When you're outside, you can see it. And it will extend forward right up to the face of those trees that you can see along the front there. This will double the area of the existing academic wing. Additions must complement the existing building while utilizing materials and forms appropriate to the current time and the status of the project. Upon approaching the new building, the addition, You will recognize a familiar color of brick, which will wrap around the lower level, and you'll be passing white columns, which reflect the white banding that's on the existing building. But the upper two floors, in contrast, hover above this rectangular brick base, sheltering the main entrance. Alternating bands of metallic, titanium, and tan panels will wrap the curving upper stories, celebrating the modern library and Peace Center. The constantly changing play of light on the metallic finish is intended to reflect the energy and dynamism of the college. On the ground plane, as you come up to the front entrance, large curving lines in the paving in front of the main entrance forecourt will be continuous as it runs down the side of the building with tiered armor rock, which steps down to the Great Hall entry. These will draw visitors to the two most public points of entry into the college and help to integrate the public face of the college. Steps on the path leading from the parking lot to the main entrance will be heated to ensure direct and safe passage. The new entrance will lead the visitor directly to a new reception center, which will be immediately adjacent to the atrium right here. Across from the reception center, fronting the entrance level, will be the large community room, the RBJ Schlegel room, and a mid-sized seminar room, which will be right here, with glazing onto the front, onto Westmont Road. The atrium, in which you're standing, will be the principal point of orientation and the hub for circulation within the college. Where the entry corridor comes into the atrium, right here, light will stream down from skylights above and make visible. And from this position here, if you were to raise your eyes, you would be able to see the two bridges which provide entry to the new library on this side and the Peace Center on the level above, up here. So immediately above this level, in the addition, the windows of the new library reading room will gaze out over the street, enlivening the experience of study for the students, and while making visible to those outside the purpose of the college, which is the pursuit of learning. The reading room will wrap around the new state-of-the-art archive storage room, which is the centerpiece of the library and home for the Mennonite archives. The uppermost floor, which will be right up here, will house, as we've said, the Center for Peace Advancement, whose gallery, incubator, think tank, and graduate hive are intended to foster interaction and the cross-pollination of ideas. The music department will inhabit the level below this entry level. New classrooms, practice rooms, and rehearsal studios will join an expanded departmental office to draw the department together for the first time into one common location. Now, we've had a lot of questions about sustainable design. Sustainable principles have governed the design of this building. I could go through the whole list, and I will try to summarize it, because sustainable principles are fairly common. But there will be high insulation values in the walls and roof, good windows, those of you who are interested in the details can ask me about it, and a high level of airtightness in the building envelope. Indoor air quality will be achieved with the use of low VOC adhesives, paint, and flooring, and fresh ventilation air is supplied whenever required by means of CO2 sensors in the ducts. Water efficiency has been incorporated. Low water consumption toilets, urinals, lavatories, and showers will be provided. Electronic faucets have been provided for all labs to reduce the water consumption wherever possible. And of course, energy conservation. Energy efficient lamps and ballasts have been used, and occupancy sensors will help to avoid waste. Daylight sensors also will turn lights off when rooms no longer need that because of light coming in from the outside. All lighting systems have been selected for long life, and the electrical distribution system has been designed so that to reduce losses, and which in common parlance would mean that more energy makes it to where it needs to get. Cooling fan energy and hot water pump energy. Terminology we don't think about, but if you can lower the actual demand on your fans and your pumps, you save a lot of energy. And not only have we reduced the usage, but we've also used extremely efficient fans and pumps. The new well-lit bicycle parking area is being provided near the main entrance, as well as a shower to allow people who choose to walk or work to freshen up before going to work. In short, this addition will be a good steward of its resources and provide a nurturing, fresh air indoor environment. I would like to say that it has once more been a pleasure to work with Paul Penner and the board and the governing bodies of this university, this college, to help reshape the future of the college. And again, I look forward with excitement to seeing this dream realized. So I guess it's my job now to pass it on to Laura.
Good afternoon, and what a great afternoon it is, so I'll keep it brief so we can all go outside. The people before me have done a really good job already of explaining what the building is going to look like and what the facilities are that are going to help students and anyone who comes into the building. I'm not going to knock down the shovel. My job is to help explain to you the impact on students. And I first came to Grebel in 2003, which is shocking. And there are a couple degrees in there. Okay, it hasn't taken me that long to graduate. But so I've been a Grebel resident, and I've been a Grebel master's student, and so I have the first-hand experience of Grebel's lasting commitment to its students and to make sure that the student interests are not only taken care of, but are sought after. The expansion that Lori was just describing, where the academic building is going to be twice the size, is not just a coincidence. It reflects the fact that even in the decade that I've been here, our academic programs are expanding rapidly. I'm sure you're aware we're adding a master's program next year in Peace and Conflict Studies. We have our Master's of Theology Studies. We have our music program, which has grown by leaps and bounds. Religious studies students, undergraduate history students. Am I forgetting a discipline? I think that's everybody, right? And of course, the residence program as well. The expanded space is going to accommodate all these students that are coming into Grebel and that are continuing to come and are going to expand in numbers. The expanded library not only includes expansion of resources, but also of study space, particularly useful for graduate students whose second home is usually upstairs in the study carrels. Many of my classmates and colleagues right now, as term is wrapping up, rarely go home and eat dinner, lunch, and breakfast here. The music practice rooms are going to be very useful, just like the study carrels, because we no longer have to draw lots to see who gets to use them. But also the group study rooms, because currently there's nowhere for graduate students, or undergraduate for that matter, to work together in a group where you can speak loudly, because of course that's not appropriate in the library. And the Center for Peace Advancement is going to, I don't have time here today to explain all that it's going to do for students, but it's very, very exciting, especially in the way that it's going to expose students to programs, the people who are going to be coming into that space, as well as potential internships, networking, and just a general overall understanding of the possibilities of what peace can be beyond and including peace and conflict studies. So suffice it to say that this expansion is going to have a huge impact on Grebel students. Thank you.
Thanks very much. So, we're on a journey. It's $8.7 million. I'll tell you again, we're on a journey for $8.7 million. Bring your friends. We've heard about its academic, going to take us from maybe doing 4,000 students a year to, who knows? Jim, in the back? How many students are we going to have here on a yearly basis or every semester? So academically, you're hearing about it as a community outreach with community seminar rooms, Center for Peace Advancement. We're hearing about it for just a general place to come to. So thanks for being here. We are really excited about it. And I will flag just a couple more things. We'll have a website. If you can find your way there, which I'm sure you can, watch us. It's going to be fun. I'm sure we'll be posting all kinds of things over the next little while. Keep in mind a couple of upcoming dates, which are really important on our students. April 15th, convocation. It's another group of students will be journeying off. That's our key focus here. The 20th and 21st, we have performance gadfly tickets there. It's going to be at the Conrad Center in Kitchener. You can buy your ticket here though, so don't hesitate if you want to go to that. And if there's anything else that anyone would like to know about, speak to one of us. Otherwise, enjoy anything that's left of the food and the drink, and I think we can just continue to fellowship. And thank you for coming.